G'day guys and welcome to Ask a Pathfinder. My name is Michael, your GM for the evening, as we run through a very special game of Starfinder. With me today are, of course, my very good friends, Guy, Freddie, Jono, and Karen. Howdy guys, how we doing?
Yeah, good.
Very good, thank you.
Fantastic.
4:30 a.m.
Awesome. I love listening to a loud group of people online all going rabba 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 at the same time. Okay, so the adventure we are going to be playing is a custom adventure of my very own devising that takes place in the setting of Pathfinder, known as the Galarian system, in the planet of Akatana. But before we delve into that, first let's of course meet the crew of the ship, the StarSwift, starting of course with its admirable captain, played by our beloved Jono. Jono, tell us about your character.
Hello, well, I am Marcus Wayland, captain of this fine vessel, recently procured and crewed in remarkable efficiency. And we are currently embarking on our next adventure, as it were. Cash is a bit low. Personally, I have had starfaring in my blood right from the get-go. Growing up on a asteroid kind of gives that Wanderlust an extra bit of turbocharge.
I am most certainly sure it does, and that Wanderlust will be definitely put to good use today. But of course, no ship can stay in the skies without an avid and very skilled engineer working in its bowels. And of course, filling that role today is our friend Guy, with, of course, his character Ein. Tell us a little bit about Ein.
Ein is definitely human. There is no doubt about it. There are medical papers that support this. He is someone who is efficient. He does not waste time, for time is not to be wasted. And although this is a new captain to the StarSwift, Ein has been aboard for quite some time. I am intimately familiar with the ship's systems and despair of our captain's new propensity for mysticism. However, he is the captain, it is his ship, and he may smoke whatever he likes whilst on board, even though it violates several health regulations and causes problems with the life scrubbers.
Indeed, and of course, speaking of the mystical art, sometimes problems aboard the StarSwift aren't solved as readily with tools and trade. It in fact takes a bit of a mystic hand, and to that end, aboard this ship is the infamous Kasatha, known as Kazan.
I am Kazan.
Anything else,
Well
Freddie?
said.
But in Kasathis, if you guys can speak it.
I have come from a long dead society, deep beneath the rock. I've been cast as I used to be a priest. But now I wander the wastes, and with this strange group of people that need my help with the ways of the arts of my master. But I am Kazan.
Yes,
I love how
indeed.
so many words can fit into such little words.
It means so much. It's the depth of what he is saying and all the subtle inflections that make the language truly special. And speaking of truly special, we of course turn to our last and of course, well, at least the shortest member of the group, our of course Yosoki friend, played by our loved Karen, named Chase. Karen, tell us a bit about Chase.
Well, Chase is the name. His friends call him Chase, and you can also call him Chase. He started training to be one of the elite operatives. Didn't quite make it, but that's okay, because nobody else knows that. And he's just kind of tagging along for the ride, getting told what he needs to do, and yeah, that's him.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, of course, our story begins, as I mentioned, on the planet of Akatana, as our intrepid heroes have recently received a request from a well-known celebrity of the area, an android performer by the name of BER5. Now, this individual has recently risen to a celebrity status after having come from very humble beginnings in Akatana itself. For those of you who wish to, in the group, you may make me a culture check to understand a little bit more about what this means for the people of Akatana.
Culture.
I should have asked this before, but Are we rolling just with normal dice?
Oh, yeah, roll normal dice. Physical dice. Feel something in your hand.
Rolled a 5.
We don't get a lot of culture on the asteroid.
Yes, well,
Is on
I
Is that
have
it?
made a familiar study with most of the cultural aspects of Akiton, including its diminishing ionosphere. I rolled a 19.
ooh, excellent. Well, with a 19, Ein manages to decipher the fact that the actual socio-economic structure of the people of Akaton is actually in a diminishing state. Very slowly but surely, the resources are dwindling, the people are becoming more and more impoverished and having to turn to rather unscrupulous forms of entertainment in order to survive. The people on the planet have constantly tried to endure, and this has made a very, very positive outlook on the people here as hardy and worthwhile people of the sand and deserts that riddle the planet of Akaton's surface. However, BER, having risen from his humble beginnings, represents a symbol of hope, one that others can follow in pursuit of trying to raise above their station and do something in the light of day rather than in the dark underbelly of Akaton's criminal empires. So, BER has hired you, ironically, to clear out his debts that he had accrued through his life on Akiton. He had spent many years working in the entertainment industry down on the surface with some unscrupulous sorts, in particular a man by the name of Dakar. Now, Dakar has sent various mercenaries and assassins after BER in hopes of trying to claim not only the debt, but also eradicate any hope that those who basically, enjoy his facilities, his underworld entertainment, have of ever reaching anything apart from the cruel and unusual kinds of things that happen in the dark underbelly of Akiton. So, you have been given a fine payment of 500 credit, which you may add to your sheets, and sent on your way to the surface to a city known as Arl. Now, Arl itself is one of the most well-known gambling areas of Akiton, and you have been instructed to meet with a man known as Kajib. Now, you know very little of the man, apart from the fact that he apparently owns a nightclub called the Chokebox. And you are to find this secreted location, speak with Kajib, and arrange a meeting with Dakar to hopefully try and, well, clear some of that debt that BER has. Now, the reason BER hasn't come with you is because he fears that Kajib and Dakar will perhaps not honor their deal and, in fact, try and do something untoward. You guys, however, are very trained and very respectable mercenaries who would definitely show a certain strength when you deal with your own adventures and endeavors. So, after having parked the StarSwift in a local dock and paid a reasonable but nominal fee for keeping it safe, you begin to explore the expanse around you. And I believe, there we go. Excellent. The dust rolls as the wind is kicked up. You can see around you the people of Akiton, the Yosoki, the lizard people, even the giant Shobhad. It matters not where you come from. Everyone seems to be working and toiling in the hot sun. Every now and then, large flares shine brightly, illuminating even the darkest corners as you begin your search of the area. What is it that you guys wish to do and explore?
This certainly wasn't what I had in mind when I thought I was coming up in the world.
I am Kazan.
Yes.
Captain, I would recommend that we change the frequencies that our communicators operate on. Currently they're set at 87.53 megahertz. I would recommend we change them to 1271.3 megahertz. It will reduce the range of our communicators substantially. However, the increased frequency will be less prone to the ionosphere's lack of protection from solar flares. Our communications should therefore be more reliable, if slightly
Let's go
shorter.
that way.
What he said.
All right. Pointing down towards an alleyway, you actually end up walking through what is apparently a bazaar. You can see stalls and shops that seem to be built into the sides of large scrap iron ships that have been pulled apart and torn down in order to make basic housing, basic buildings. You can see that there is a thick, noxious-looking smoke that rises at about the second story of each of the buildings. It almost makes the air difficult to choke and breathe. If not for your armored atmosphere suits, you would surely find that the slightly radioactive atmosphere here and the choking mist in the area would be unbearable. Yes? Karen? I can't hear you, not at all. Oh, bye.
That was the wrong button.
Well, for those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who are actually watching this, I would like to point out that our Yosuke friend Chase mentioned that he was actually not selected for the elite training as an operative because of reasons. This is one of those primary reasons. Clearly, the on and off button on a webcam is a simple thing to make a mistake with. However, when you are aboard a fighter jet, for example, the on and off button can be a crucial blunder, one that is made and has occurred more than one time. And thus he was, well, let's say, encouraged for self-exile. Which is why...
this.
All right, but while he is, while the Yosoki seems to have been distracted by something shiny, the rest of you managed to find your way through the bazaar, where you can actually see several individuals who are trying to sell and palm off various odds and ends, trinkets, tiny baubles. There is one individual who comes up to you. It is a giant lizard who holds some small fruit-looking thing. It is leathery in texture and has tiny little bumps, and it wiggles every once in a while. He holds it and he says, buy, it's good. It helps regulate the body, soothes the spirit. You poke it and it has kind of this springy, elastic texture. It almost giggles when you touch it.
I would recommend engaging with that individual.
His tongue comes out and licks his eye.
Can I detect magic on the item?
You may indeed. Your eyes begin to glow with a mystical energy as you scan the area. You actually see that there is a minor illusion cast on the object he is holding.
Kazan walks on.
How about you, sir? You handsome man. Yes, lovely man. He sort of starts preening over Ein as he sort of holds the fruit.
I'm not sure that's entirely advisable. What do you think, Mr. Science?
We are looking for the choke box. That should be our objective, Captain. Anything else is
I
merely
agree.
extended exposure to the radiation.
Do you know where that choke box is?
The choke box, yes, I know. Here, let me show you. And with that, a small child, a small lizard folk, sort of walks out, and he sort of belts her at the back of the head. She's wearing rags, and he says, choke box, go through it, and he says, for 5 credits, my daughter, she will take you.
I look over at the Yusoki, who apparently is suffering from some kind of medical problem. My medicine check is 16.
What I was trying to say before I tried to unmute myself and somehow shut down Zoom was that Michael said it's good you all have suits of armor. I, as Michael well know, only was able to buy a sniper rifle and no armor. So the Yosoki is suffering from radiation. And thank you to the gold we have, but I need to go find, a flight suit or something. So
All right, Basically, at this point, as the Yosoki start to cough and die. By the way, you guys are all watching this as he does so. The human will get a private message from the dungeon master.
Oh, sure. So you get the type, but I don't.
Yeah, you're just dying.
Yes.
So would you be quiet and just die over there, please?
I grab his face and stabilize him with my mysticism.
I'm too beautiful to die.
It is illogical for you to be suffering effects. Your species is native to this planet. I do not understand why the radiation is affecting you thusly.
I may be overreacting it, I'm not sure.
Can stabilize help him?
You make a basic heal check, and you realize he is perfectly fine. He is a native to this planet and is actually biologically completely accustomed to every aspect.
I slap him in the face.
It must have been the curry I had.
We did not have curry. That was chicken a la king.
I am Kazan!
I may have snuck off and had curry without telling you.
Captain, departures from the ship are irregular.
This is good for curry. Curry buns. Very good. 5 credit.
We're getting sidetracked here. Don't eat strange things from interesting people.
Yes, Captain.
5 credits to take us to the choke box, you said.
Yes, my daughter. Sylvia, she will take you.
Done.
Haha,
Excellent. He sort of holds up a small little panel and waits for you to insert your cred stick.
And I insert my cred stick.
And with that, he sort of, roll a perception check for me.
I would advise against inserting your stick into any foreign alien slot, Captain. I do not see what is amusing. Oh wait, yes I do. Ha 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 ha.
I think it's because he thought you said slut. And
The perception check?
15.
15. All right. With a 15, you actually notice that there are 2 more zeros on the receipt before you actually hit accept.
Oh, good. I don't hit accept. What are you playing at here?
Sorry, Sahib.
You think I'm a tourist?
Well,
Do I look like a tourist?
Captain, technically you are a tourist.
Shut up.
And Captain, technically it wouldn't matter because I don't think enough money's in the account, is there? So it wouldn't go through.
That's not the point. It's the principle of the matter.
He sort of says,
sorry. His mistake. It's happened all the time. Faulty equipment.
and he sort of hits it and sort of takes off the proper amount from your cred.
Committing
With
violence.
that, he sort
Committing violence against your device will not ensure its successful operation. However, if you give it to me, I can check it and ensure it is operating within normal parameters. There will be a small
very
fee
good,
incurred.
No, that's all right. It's perfect. I'm sure it'll be. You know what? I think I've got a spare. Don't worry. I check out the back. Sylvia, you deal with these people.
and he sort of hurries out the back. Meanwhile, the small child.
Hello.
Right.
Yeah, Kazarn's gonna get real close to her face.
Don't scare the...
That's a nice bandana. Can I touch it?
Put the little person down.
What's happening? I don't like
Down.
heights.
Why won't you tell me where to go?
What does he mean? He's Kazan.
Yeah, no. Put it down. Thank you. Lead the way. Let's go.
Oh yes. Okay. Just this way. Yes. Over here. Over here. It's
What
this
is
way.
wrong with you?
I
Okay.
tried to get information.
All right. So basically, she leads you out of the bazaar. As you sort of walk through, several people sort of walk up to you with various knickknacks and tiny things. Somebody actually says, "Oh, I have a pair of chopsticks that can take the skin off a dead rat. Come, I give you 1 credit, eh?" And another person says, "Talking skulls, 3 credit. A skull is shutting them up. That's the trick." And basically. So on and so forth as you pass through. You eventually come to what appears to be a large, almost like a cellar that looks like it digs down into the sandy dunes. She sort of lifts it up. As she does so, you can see a flight of stairs leading down into a very poorly illuminated passageway. Do you proceed?
Captain.
This is the way to a nightclub?
Yeah, sort of. It's more to it than that. It leads you to the underground. It's
Right.
underground.
The club is underground. Is this the normal way people go to the club?
I'll go.
It's one of them.
All right, the Yosoki just tick, 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 tick.
I
by
got
the way,
dark vision. I don't bother.
anyone who has not got at least low light vision will find it difficult to traverse this area. I recommend a torch. If you, or you've your basic computery handheld device thing will have a basic torch on it.
We need to find this place, so let's just get this over with. Keep your wits about you, everyone.
Captain, given the nature of the trader who supplied us with this guide, I do not think this is the choke box. However,
Checkbox is down there somewhere.
as is our Yusoki.
I can't see it yet.
Choice is made, really.
Do you require light, Captain? I have been augmented with suitable night vision compensation.
Good man. You go first.
I press a small panel in my arm and a very small torch pops out. I hand it over to the captain. I have not been limited by my human origins.
Right.
Oh wait, that way's the wrong way. I'm gonna go this way.
All right. Could I get a survival check from Karen and the other crew separately, of course? So Karen, what's yours first?
Rolling the lens. 18.
Okay, and the rest of the crew?
4.
Bye. 10.
10?
20.
Okay.
I'm still distracted.
As the little girl sort of walks you down the stairs, you sort of look to the side, Kazan, and you can see the Yosoki basically walking to the left, like a T-junction. You see him sort of dart to the left, and then you see him dart to the right, and then you see him come out of a door that, is just further on down the corridor. Then he goes back into the same door he came out of, and then appears in the door, next to it. Meanwhile, the little girl is going in a completely opposite direction.
Oh, coming.
I do not like the activity over there.
The rest of you look, and you can see your Yosoki basically popping in and out of this alleyway.
Did I happen to find anything that I could pick up while I was, anything random?
While you were searching, you find that a lot of the areas are actually will look to be what appear to be the bowels of a crashed ship. You find yourself in this abandoned engine room with no actual engine. You find yourself, in a small, secluded area with lots of broken beer bottles. It looks as though this is a place where people come to kind of be secluded, as it were.
Lovely.
Do you go back to the? Do you go back to the group? Do you guys go get him? Do you guys let him run?
No,
amok?
I'll catch up when I've seen everyone walking away. When I'll realize they were going the wrong direction. They were going the wrong direction.
Excellent. You catch up. All right. So, at this point, once you've descended deep into the bowels of this area, you can see that this entire room in front of you, this massive chasm, rises up to a huge interior dome, illuminated by green lights of fire that seem to run along its entire circumference. The light that illuminates it shows the rooftops of several very large buildings that, unlike the ones on the surface, are brand new, made of fabricated and polymers, This area here looks to be very ritzy indeed. You can actually see that there are lasers and lights that are being shone from various windows. There are individuals scantily clad that are dancing as you walk past this area that is lit with various purples and red lights. People that walk through here seem to be a little bit more well-dressed than the kind of vagabonds on the surface. And you can see that there are some individuals who have even walked in with armed guards that seem to be traversing with them. You can hear the sounds of hustling and bustling from the people, but also music that seems to be driving straight from a very, very large structure in the middle, which rises up like a ziggurat with several layers that reach up to the top. And on the top, there appears to be a somewhat statue of a naked woman who is holding what appears to be an apple of some kind. And smoke billows out of her mouth, almost like she's drowning, and it sort of bubbles over her lips and pours down over the entrance of a very, very large and very, very loud nightclub.
Hey, Carson, what do you think about this place?
That escalated.
I am Kazar.
Yeah, me too, buddy, me too.
Not what I was expecting.
The presence of armed individuals is alarming, Captain.
That's right, we're armed.
And at that point, Marcus, two Kasatha women wearing very little, and the only kind of exception being obviously a kind of a wrap that sort of covers their mouth and their forehead, which also very delicately covers them, walks over to you and sort of says, "You are indeed well armed," and starts sort of caressing your shoulders.
Oh, this looks expensive. Don't lose focus. We
Come
are
on,
here
Flat.
for... Why are we here? Oh, yes.
She says, me and my sister are very well armed as well.
I
Yes,
glare
see-
over
see
his
that.
shoulder.
Fantastic. If
And,
only I had more time to spend with this, but...
And she's like, "Oh, come on, have a drink with us." And
Okay.
another one, and the sister basically walks over to the human, and also starts to.
Yeah, I pull out my battle axe.
I believe your services are not required at this time.
Ooh, all right. Well, you'll know where to find us. And she sort of like reaches into like one of the cloth straps in her bosom, and she sort of puts it into your pocket. And they both sort of like they turn, but like the last thing to move is their head as they glide on to the next person who looks like they've got a wallet.
Be sure not to drink your goblets. They may poison you.
I check all my pockets.
Yeah, inspecting your pockets, they haven't lifted anything from you, but they have left a black card that says the choke box.
Captain,
It
we
also-
have found the choke
it al-
box.
It also has an address on it.
Good. Little girl, we no longer need your services. You better get home. This place is clearly not for children.
Alternatively, you could remain. There seems to be a viable trade, and those two women were in quite good health. Prostitution appears to be quite lucrative and beneficial to the individual.
No.
Yes, Captain.
No.
You are
You
correct.
made an excellent point.
You are
Life
quite
is hard
plain.
on the surface.
Yes.
Go back to your father.
Yeah. Actually, how far away is the entrance of this place?
She sort of muddles off, quite sad that her hopes were raised and then dashed so explicitly. You can see the
headache.
You can see the entrance is about. It basically is the most central building and is about 10 minutes from the entranceway that you have taken. However, based on your survival checks from earlier, you can actually tell that the actual entranceways are very difficult to see because they are obviously dark and poorly illuminated, and the edges of the actual circumference of the domed area is also pitch black. So even with dark vision, it is very hard to see where one of these steps are.
Will the little girl be all right?
Well, you're actually quite literally at one of the stairs, so she can just turn around and...
Something tells me she probably knows her way around here better than we do.
Point taken.
It was a good call, Captain. I was in error.
Yes.
Okay.
That would have to be a first time for you, hey?
I did not realize she had a limp. That would distract her customers from potential revenue generated.
Oh yeah, right there. Right there.
Okay. Well, you basically at this point find that as you move through, the entire area is filled with various types of entertainment of an illegal nature. Prostitution is among one of the major things. You actually notice you kind of get this sense, your mystical senses are tingling. Marcus, yours also kind of tingle. That's how strong it is. There is a room filled with satin sheets and satin cushions, and it is called the Mysticarum. And you can kind of get almost like as you pass through it, the street that this is on, a sense of magic and whimsy that sort of almost is alluring in a way.
Tricksters.
I am getting allured.
Money.
You can get allured. As you walk in, there's a certain smell in the air. You can roll me a fort save.
Awesome. Even more awesome. 6.
16.
18.
18?
9.
Okay, with a 9 and a 6, this smell it kind of clouds your judgment a little bit, but it makes you feel a sense of euphoria.
Wait,
you
nope,
can make
that'd
me
be 11. Sorry, that'd be 11. My bad. But
still same thing.
Yeah.
You can make me a life sciences check if you so desire.
Can I just fail this check, seeing as I'm in the port check?
You can choose to fail. You can just be like,
yeah. I'm like, this is all the the scum and villainy of the world, all the underground stuff. I'm at home.
I rolled a natural 20. So
19.
Okay. Getting a strong aroma, you identify this as pesh. Pesh is a highly addictive, highly illegal substance that is common to a form of cactus that grows on Akiton. It is probably one of the very, very big forbidden cargoes that it is actually illegal for people to ship, manufacture, or distribute. The Mysticarum appears to be what you would imagine an opium den to be.
Captain, I should warn you, by breathing this in, you are committing several crimes.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, what?
I would recommend ceasing inhalation immediately.
What? Why? I can't stop breathing.
That is a fault of your own, then. Perhaps we should move quickly through this area before I have to drag the three of you out.
Why the rush? It seems perfectly pleasant to me here, and look, she looks inviting. Why don't we go see what she's selling?
Are we here for
Mostly body
was
parts.
it gambling? We're here for gambling. What are we here for again?
We are here to speak to Khajiit. In the interests of our client, do you recall?
Is he a gambler?
Most likely.
Right.
Okay. Well,
Captain.
do you guys proceed?
Okay. Right. Yes. Follow the boring man.
You're possibly accurate.
You can see a Yosoki, sort of a very sexy Yosoki woman, start stroking on Chase's tail as he's sort of twirling it in her fingers.
Oh, hello.
I move to interpose.
Oh.
We do not
I've never
require
been with
services at this time.
Oh, hey, I've never been with two people at once.
She looks at you and she says, "He'll cost extra."
That was not what I was meaning to imply. Captain, we must depart immediately.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, I'm sure you can last for a little distraction.
Chase, once we are paid, you can return and fulfill your reproductive requirements to your heart's content.
Okay. Let's go. Quick now. Quick, faster then.
All right. You have gracefully managed to evade all of the tricks and allures of the of the underground district. Well done. Kudos to you. Now, for the purposes of this game, and because there is a little bit of a balancing issue in terms of encounters and stuff like that, I am awarding hero points. Now, hero points function as follows. Every one of you, because you have not succumbed to any of the temptations, gain a hero point. This hero point may be used before you roll any d20 roll to give you a +8 bonus to that roll. If you want to, however, you may also use it after you've rolled to gain a +4 bonus on the roll at that point. In addition, if you have 2 or more hero points, you may petition your GM to stop you from dying. So, by expending 2 points, I will simply say that some miraculous thing has occurred and you are not dead. So, hang on to them, spend them, do what you will with them. Let us proceed. As you finally arrive at the nightclub. Now, at this point, you basically find yourselves at the entranceway of a very opulent building. You can see that there's gold and onyx that is the primary building materials here for this large casino. In the center, you are welcomed by this huge array of tables with various games that seem to be going on, including a small rat race, quite literally, with rats that are numbered, which seem to be running from a small porcupine-looking creature that seems to have turned itself into a small boulder that is slowly impaling little rats as it goes through. People cheering and people clapping as chips are being thrown on the table counters as the festivities are ongoing.
Poor creatures.
Gosh, decadent this place, isn't it?
It is the product of a collapsing civilization.
Okay. Inside, you can see that the staff members appear to all be androids. They all seem to have very, very nice tuxedos. They seem to be glowing and pulsing various colors, which seem to be in tune with the rhythm of the music that is playing. They seem to be moving around as dealers. They seem to be the females seem to be working as the wait staff, and of course, there is a greeter at the front who says, "Welcome to the choke box. We hope that you have a enjoyable and agreeable time."
That will be facilitated by pointing us in the direction of Khajiit, a Cathar who invests in significant time in this establishment.
Well, indeed, but Cathar, I'm afraid he is not, and I would hopefully refrain from calling him such in his presence. But if you have a meeting with the master, I'm sure I can facilitate such a thing. Do you have an invitation or letter of announcement?
Captain.
In a manner of speaking, yes. We're here to settle up the account of one of his debtors. I'm sure he'd be quite interested to see us.
Well, he has always time for those who have credits to change. Right this way.
As an aside, player to GM, I assume we have been provided with the necessary credits to pay this man's debt.
Yes, absolutely you have.
500,
Or at least you have gotten a box which was claimed to have enough money to deal with this individual.
Oh boy, that's going to turn out real nice.
It does actually have money in it, right?
We'll see.
You sort of you very quickly sort of. Yeah, you're good. All right. So first of all he leads you through the area, and as you get taken to what appears to be a group of singing booths that lie underneath a huge lava lamp that seems to flow with this red kind of ooze and a yellow fluid. You sort of sit there, and he says, "Please enjoy your complimentary drinks." And he sort of places 4 small glasses of what appears to be a bubbling green alcohol in front of you.
Yeah, that's more like it. Thank you.
Fort save, please.
I was about to recommend against drinking this, Captain. If we are here to negotiate, it will most likely be laced with a subtle sedative or pliancy alcohol.
I agree with Line. They may have put something to either kill us or put us out of commission. I am Kazan.
13
Karen,
for
did
the
you have
voice
some-
save.
13 for the
I'll
will
take-
save. All right.
Don't worry, boss. I'll find out for you. I'll take
Okay.
a sip of his. I'll take a sip of his one as well.
All right. So you've taken a sip of both, and that's perfectly fine. For the next hour, you find everything you hear to be absolutely and utterly agreeable.
Okay.
Now, as for the rest of you, he seems perfectly fine. You may talk
Looks
to him. You may
fine.
discuss with him.
All right? You feeling all right?
Always feeling alright, aren't I?
See? Nothing wrong with the drink. I don't see what you're so
Captain,
concerned about.
self-experimentation is no grounds to determine the efficacy of the alcohol. I would
You're doing
recommend...
science again, aren't you?
Just gonna like gently like grab the top of Captain Marcus's head. Just says,
This is a place for deception. Look around. There are
He's
looking at the same time, but they know we are here. I am Kazan.
right there.
I'm gonna make a stealth roll of it's gonna be 24. I'm gonna start drinking some other people's drinks as well if no one's looking. Actually, no, it's more than that. It's 29.
If anyone wants to know where their drink went, you may make a perception check.
I'm being sufficiently distracted by the hand on my head and how I feel about that as captain.
"Oh, oops, not today. That would have only been 13."
And don't notice
Okay.
as the drink leaves my hand.
All right. Now, not on top of being completely and utterly agreeable, basically you may only respond with a yes or a positive agreement to whatever people say. You also are drunk, which means
What?
you take a -2 on all wisdom-based checks.
Okay.
Okay. All right. As you have finished your drinks, the booth that you're sitting in begins to rotate, and as it does, the music from the nightclub begins to die down, and you
Oh,
find
good.
yourself not in this gold and black onyx kind of amphitheater type thing, but as you turn, you now find yourself in an office, which appears to be styled very red. There's red curtains, red flooring, red desk, big red chair, and everything that is a hard surface is basically wooden with a very, very oaky brown. And you can see sitting behind the desk a individual in a golden suit with black fur with a cat-like face. And his hands, being the most unusual of them, are actually both left hands. Not to say he is left-handed, but in fact... And he clasps them thusly. And he says, I am Kajib. It is interesting to meet such new faces. You landed your ship not only today, and you find yourself here. What brings you to Kajib?
Captain.
Well, we, you
Captain.
know.
Tugging on the captain's sleeve. Captain!
What? Not now.
It's probably not a good time to tell you, but
No.
I never actually made it through operative school. I got kicked out.
Shut up. Later.
Okay.
I do apologize. Quite an impressive office you've got here, Kajib.
Kajib thanks you.
Yes. Very bold.
Yes. Well, one finds very few things that one must have, and Kajib must have red.
Well, we all have our things, don't we?
It makes it easier when blood spills. Less noticeable.
Unless the creature is Vesk, I would imagine.
This creature, you may make a life sciences check to identify... Actually, no. Sorry, a mysticism check to identify what he is.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh, well,
With a natural 20? Well, no, you can tell me as well, because you find out if you know.
let's see. That is the good. What? Did I not put it? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I guess put it. Well, 14. Because I thought I put it in the mysticism, but
Okay.
I'll do that later.
Okay, with that, Guy, Ein actually identifies this creature as a Rakshasa. These things were considered to be long since dead. They are creatures that can trace their lineage back to the time of genies and jinn. They are believed to be emperors, conquerors, and lords from a plane beyond this one. Considered to be a paradise, in fact, that prided itself on its opulence and lured humans and other mortal creatures to decadence and vice wherever they could. This creature before you is very signature by their left hand. The only difference between a catfolk and a Rakshasa, but the Rakshasa view the Cathar, the catfolk, as being quite guttural. It is like comparing a pure breed to a vermin mongrel. And for your culture check, you actually do know a fair bit about their culture, and that appearances and respect are paramount when dealing with a Rakshasa.
Captain, I would caution deepest respect for our host, as he has clearly earned it. Being on top of this ziggurat requires a significant amount of skill and capacity, one which we surely do not have, and yet our host does.
Sure. No worries. I got it. So, you're clearly a resourceful man. Knew we arrived before we did, practically, clearly. But we came directly because, well, we like to get right down to business.
I like this.
That you will, of course, be familiar with BER, the celebrity.
I am aware of many things. BER and his rise to fame is one that, let's say, tickles my fancy. I also know he owes an outstanding amount of money to Dakar.
When you say outstanding, yes, well, that brings us right to the point of the matter. We have been contracted by our friend, the celebrity, to come and settle his affairs with you.
Captain,
Have you now?
Captain, I would caution you, he is not our friend. He is our employer. That is the closest our affiliation comes.
I apologize.
My
It's
lawyer.
strange. It's strange to watch your mouth moving, but it's coming with his words. Does your parrot talk for you, or should I be speaking to the man in charge?
Captain, I should point out I am not a
BER
parrot.
owes you money?
You put the briefcase on his desk, and he sort of leans over and drags towards him, and he opens it. He holds out what appears to be a cred stick and inserts it into his desk. An LED screen pops up in front of him, and it sort of scrolls through what appears to be a long message with a large transaction sum. And he sort of pushes it down, pulls up the cred stick, and he returns it to you. This is acceptable, and I am sure Dakar would be pleased to have this news. Tell me, do you like games?
What's he saying?
I absolutely love games.
I was getting so bored right now. Games are great.
What? I am.
No, sorry, did you have... Well, perhaps you will indulge me. You see, I love gambling. I find it soothes the soul and savage beast alike.
I open
Perhaps...
Sorry.
Yep, go. No, you open your...
I open the med kit and start looking for a sedative.
Okay, very well.
Before he's even finished the sentence, I'm opening up my cred stick to see how much money I've got.
He says,
Money is so common. I mean, look around. I have plenty of it. But what I don't have is amusement. I tell you what. Make
in
a
this
bet
whole
with
place,
me.
no amusement.
Okay.
These are for the punters. These are for their amusement. For me, I need something more. Something worthy of my station.
Just to be straight, the money business is settled?
Yes, the money is settled. I have what I need. But
Excellent,
I tell
we'll
you
be
this.
on our way then.
Oh, you sure? The game I play is quite lucrative for those who seek it.
Our client's debt is
After-
cleared, is that correct?
Your client's debt is cleared, yes.
Fantastic. Right, so we'll be getting paid then. Not by you, of course, by the client, but, could we possibly, have that in a contractual form, formalities, before we get to more fun stuff?
At this point, he basically sends you a message, and you can hear a ding appear on your thing, which shows the receipt for your transaction. But at that point, he basically places his hand on a small panel beside him, and on the table on either side of it, a drawer opens, and inside, rising up above it, is about 30 to 40 gold bars. Now, gold bars are incredibly valuable. Each single bar is worth almost 1 million credits. And he says, well, if I can't tempt you, then, well, on your way then.
Nice and smooth.
Consider me tempted.
Good choice, Captain.
Yeah. Can I sense motive this guy? Potentially.
You can.
Like, I want to see if
I want to see what type of game he's thinking he can play. Never mind. I rolled a 1.
He seems to be rolling a dice in his hand.
I'm curious.
Captain, I would recommend you stick to your original course of action.
Shh, parrot.
The game is simple. You roll 1 dice. You pick a number. If I roll this dice, you win. If you, however, roll my number, then I win. Simple game.
Hardly see any real challenge in that. I mean, where's
Well,
the skill of
the-
a card game?
Well, here is the skill. A true gambler knows what to bet. This money here is not a small amount, and I risk a great deal. The car would have me in his debt, and I would have to give up a more opulent life. And similarly, I would look at your risk. 1 roll of the dice, and you entertain me for 1 whole day.
I smell a trap.
I believe it's difficult to believe you can smell anything through those dirty rags, my friend.
he's slightly shocked that he knows he can speak this tongue. Just
Yeah, you actually realize he basically he replies to you in Kasatha.
So I can avoid this simple speech. You are a
He's-
trickster. Many deceptions in your grasp.
He at this point he sort of rises to his feet, and as he
I
does,
hired him.
as he does, you can kind of see the buttons sort of stretch on what you can imagine is quite an imposing physique beneath his very sleek exterior. And he says, in Kasatha, I am many things. Prince, king, emperor, a trickster. you would compare me with something so low class. Honor, pride, wealth, these are what define me. What defines you?
Working earth air filters.
I am not one to play games. If you wish to play your games, then you three can play. I do not wish to partake in selling myself to your pride, to your wealth.
Just to clarify, I don't understand what you're saying, do I?
Not that bit.
You hear?
Yeah.
I am Kazan. I am
Yeah.
Kazan.
Yeah.
I am Khajiit. I am Khajiit.
Oh,
I'm
it's getting out of
Chase.
hand.
I frantically type a text message to the captain since he has forbidden me from speaking.
Why? What
Which
type
says-
of entertainment are you looking for? Slavery? Combat? What is your true desire, since you have so much already?
Well, whatever it is, surely one day as a slave, one day as a fighter in the pits, one day.
Aha! We get to it. The form of entertainment you were talking about. You'd forgotten to mention that bit.
He said, well, no, he finishes and says, whatever it is, what is a day?
Well, depends on where you are. You'd know this if you traveled the solar system more often.
I don't, sadly. This office is a gilded cage, so I bring fun here. And keeping it here is part of the game.
24
And
hours and
besides-
40 minutes. A lot can happen in 24 hours and 40 minutes.
Then I ask this. If you were put in a similar situation such as I, what would your answer be? Would you give this person of wealth, of pride, yourself for a day? Would you? Do you tempt fate so much?
I do not tempt fate, I court it. You expect loss, I know victory.
Another text message.
You can see the frantically. If he had an emotion, his fingers are displaying it.
If you'll excuse me a moment, I just have to take this. My lawyer.
Everybody at this point, like as like you guys are talking to each other, like you can see Kazarn is just slowly just clenching like three of his like fists as he's like trying to stay composed because of a lot of past events and other people calling him potentially a coward in this state.
The first text message is, you should listen to the Kasatha, we should leave. The second message is, shut the Kasatha up, he's not doing what he should be doing, we should leave right now, sir.
Maybe you should ask the Yosoki what he thinks.
Yes, that's true.
I text back, do you think we could sedate him and just take the money?
Oh my.
Oh, I like the ambition.
Point of game law there. We're members of a mercenary guild. How upstanding and upmarket are we? Part of regular lawful society, conducting legal contracts and all of this sort of thing?
Oh, you are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with any kind of guild.
Ah, right.
Whether or not you wish to be heroes or pirates is entirely up to, of course, the captain and whether or not the crew lives.
On second thoughts, he is rather a powerful crime lord. Maybe this is a bad idea. I haven't had my afternoon cocktail.
I am myself again. I leave you to your pride and your wealth and your victory. We are not of that stature.
Oh, I've lost my lucky quarter. Sorry.
Our business is concluded.
Very well.
And
Yeah.
I turn to walk.
I'm so tempted by all that gold. I'm gonna have to do this. You know what? This is why I employ such knowledgeable and stalwart crew members who sometimes are more sensible than I am. No.
What did you roll?
All right. He sort of gestures at you. Then I bid you farewell and safe travels wherever they may take you.
Thank you. Pleasure doing business. Don't forget us should you ever need any sort of work doing. We have very competitive rates and, as you can see, very efficient in our time management.
I like this. Walking away from money while panhandling for it. Has a sweet irony to it.
Panhandling. I, sir, will have you know that I and this crew are a successful outfit with a fine vessel.
My apologies. And he sort of gestures at you. As you basically go back into the booth and it swings back around. You guys have a feeling of accomplishment, having again quite literally walked away from another grand temptation here in the underground. Please gain another hero point.
I don't feel accomplished. I've just walked away from.
Say.
I've just walked away from gambling once again. I feel like I've lost something.
Okay.
I was this close.
Don't worry, that was not gambling.
I type another text message.
I feel like there's this real passive aggressive, like Ein is just sitting there like. Are you angry, Ein? No, that would be ridiculous.
That'd be ridiculous. I'm a human. Why would I experience anger in this situation?
The message says permission to speak.
Yes, speak. See, I was listening to you the whole time.
I am aware of that, Captain. I merely wished to point out that you handled the situation quite well.
Well, thank you. I thought so too.
I should also point out our pilot is drunk.
Hey, on that note, while you guys talk about all this, I'm going to go for a quick pee, and then I'll catch you back up in the gambling hall before we go, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
I thought that was like in game for a second.
I legit thought he was in game just then.
Right?
Well done. Well, okay, so the Yosoki seems to rush off to find a bathroom, and he does so. All right, so you guys exit the choke box, and you are still in the underground. You wish to try and return to your ship so you can contact BER.
I need a drink after all that.
Captain, I thought we established the fact that the alcohol here is served with a singular purpose, to keep you here.
Well, yeah.
We can find a local drinking above ground. It may be like piss water, but it's not laced, hopefully.
Ooh, cocktail hour. I forgot. Back to the ship.
All right. You gather your things and you begin to try and make your way out of the underground. Please make me a survival check as you try to find the entrance that you came from originally.
Besides which, I rather suspect our friend in there is going to be a bit out of joint at the whole thing, and
24.
maybe we want to leave before too long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
24. Okay, with the 24,
15.
Can you also roll me a perception check? 15 and...
Irrelevant.
I knew it. That's that sneaky son of a bitch. I knew it. He's got some people following us. And 21.
With a 21, you actually don't notice someone following you, but in fact, you see a very familiar figure being dragged back towards the choke box cigarette. You see a very familiar small lizard folk girl being dragged by what appears to be two Vesk. Now the Vesk are burly lizard folk creatures with spines where their hair is. These ones are of a dark coloration, which means they are blocks, and they are very heavily armored, very heavily armed.
The girl again. Except
You basically, see her being dragged by the neck.
She's in trouble.
It is not our place to interfere in the culture of others.
What? Oi, stop!
Just a child.
It might be their way.
Are you sure you're human?
Absolutely. I have documentation.
All right. You yell out, "Oh, stop!" You yell out, "Stop!" But which I've actually turned off the music. But
That's fine.
all right. But the music is so loud that they don't seem to hear you.
I will use. I don't know if this will actually work. I'm curious if I can use that to my advantage. I'd like to use the ghost sounds. Like, is it possible I can use that to somehow emphasize my voice?
I would say yes. You may actually use it to similar to the ventriloquism ability. You are able to throw it. You are able to.
Gotcha. So I'll use
I am Kazan!
Oh, that's where they are.
Yep. You're still in the bathroom, but I'll get to you in a minute.
Okay.
As you yell out, "I am Kazan," they seem to stop for a moment and look around before realizing there's no one there, and they
Why?
seem to.
Do they see me approaching them?
Nope.
Oh.
They just they sort of look around and they hear the ghost sound, but they're like, oh, and they sort of push a panel and drag the girl into what appears to be a room off to the side.
That's it. I'm running in.
You run in and you reach the door. The door is sealed. It seems to be I say a hidden door. It's not hidden, but it's like part of the aesthetic of the building. So it's barely noticeable. There is a control panel on one side of it, and there doesn't appear to be any guards or anything kind of by that door.
Fine. Can you break into the store?
Yes, I can.
Please do so.
Captain.
I'm Kazan.
What does this door? What's the rest of the building? Just a nondescript. I mean, what is?
Oh no, this is the choke box. But this is on the This is on the exterior of the choke box, adjacent to the entrance. It's about maybe 50 feet away from the primary entrance, where there's a lot of people moving up and down through the thoroughfare. And obviously, she was seen a little bit of the distance away, heading towards this door. When the ghost sound happened, they sort of stopped outside the door to look around a bit. But with the crowd, with everyone here, with the noise, they kind of just sort of brushed it off as, oh, someone is Kazan apparently, and carried on.
I need to learn more languages.
We are still missing our pilot.
Can't believe he
Yes,
wants
he
to
is
use
still-
a public toilet around here.
Okay. Meanwhile, in the toilet, you are taking a glorious whiz, and when you are as you are doing so, you're in the stall. There's the wall with the 3 urinals and stuff like that, and next to you, a large and imposing figure in a golden suit with a black feline head and 2 left hands, unzips and begins to urinate next to you. And he says, "I thought you were leaving."
Because I'm still under the effects, I'm going to say I am. I think. Am I?
Well, I hope you're going to spend a little time enjoying yourself. Undercity is not somewhere you want to miss out.
Okay, I will.
Oh no.
That is good. It seems like you are more interested in games than your friends are.
Oh, very much so. I don't have much money. I lost most of it years ago on it, but I very much enjoy it.
Well, I know a way you can make a little bit of money, if of course you're interested.
Well, seeing as we're in this circle of truth, to be fair, I was contemplating trying to steal one of your gold bars before, but I didn't.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. Did you have one of our drinks by any chance?
What, 4 of them?
Ah, I see. Well, did you enjoy them?
Very much so.
Excellent.
I
That is.
love that smell as well. What incense is that?
It's piss.
Oh, well, it's all wonderful.
He says, you strike me as someone who might be a skilled pilot, yes?
I only crashed one plane before, but again, these guys don't really know about it yet, so I didn't want to mention it.
Launchpad?
Well, tell me, do you like racing? And he sort of has this Cheshire grin smile. As we then cut to, of course, the outside of the nightclub, where you guys are standing by the doorway to the place that the individuals have been. The little girl had been taken. So, Ein.
Captain, if you wish me to open this door, I shall, but it would be committing a crime in a crime-ridden area. Generally speaking, the locals will take matters into their own hands.
But they have captured that small girl. It was 2 armed men for a little child. Not honorable. This door needs to open.
Her future has 2 prospects. Either she will be killed slowly, or she will be sold into prostitution, a recourse we have already dismissed as a likely and viable alternative for her existence.
Neither are an option. Open the door.
These are not viable. Does he have a comlink on him? Can I call him? What is he doing?
You can. As obviously you attempt to call him, while you are in the toilet and while you are next to the individual.
Open the door.
First of all, do you like racing?
Are we back to me?
Back to you, Karen.
Oh yes, I very much love racing. Oh, hello. The reception isn't very good here. I'll just have to go outside. Maybe.
What are you doing?
I was just taking a pee and talking to the gold man.
Oh no! Right. Make sure you lose him before you come back.
What?
Make
lose
sure
him?
you. Yes. Don't talk to the gold man. Dangerous.
Oh.
Come back.
Okay. Where are you?
Just round the
I
corner.
thought I heard Kazan's voice out here. I can't see him.
Wave, Kazar, wave. You're the tallest.
I actually, in response to that, I angrily take out that lightsaber battle axe and start trying to smash the door open.
I see him. Hello, Kazan.
All right. Chase does, however, still need to finish peeing.
I'm not walking outside the toilet peeing.
No. You kind of cut off midstream.
Oh.
This is the longest pee in the world.
Yosoki, you have to process a lot of minerals.
Okay. Austin Powers pee.
My
exactly.
Computer used checkers 24 to attempt to open the door.
Very easily, you sort of you basically get a couple of wires from your hacking kit, insert them into the panel, and begin to put in the right sequence of code. You can see the numbers sort of flowing down in a wild sequence. Eventually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights go green, and the door swings open. As you basically see now, this beautiful black onyx door now has this massive dent in it. As it now swings open. Inside, you can actually see a rather large corridor that leads down, and several doors are on the left and right-hand side as you proceed. At the very farthest end, you can see what appears to be a double door, kind of like an elevator lift, but like, those ones that they use for like loading platforms, that kind of thing, with just the grate. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Ain, wait for him. Bring him as soon as he arrives. We must pursue before she disappears forever. Not on my watch.
Captain, before you depart, one last plea to your humanity. She may very well have been sold to those gentlemen, in which case, according to this planet, she is their property. You may be interfering with a perfectly legitimate exchange.
Is that a thing here?
I am trying to...
Sorry. The Iron, with your previous culture check, you would know most certainly that you are 100% correct.
Am I likely to be incorrect, Captain?
In my immediate experience, no.
Precisely.
I don't like it.
Any sign that we know which direction might have gone, or were we at the door too long?
You were at the door too long, but you do kind of suspect very easily that if they went through any of the smaller doors, likely there would be signs of entry or signs of noise. They didn't really make it that far away, but you believe that at the end of the corridor, you don't know how big or how fast or how wide the elevator kind of thing went. So that's probably your best.
I'm going. Just going.
Right. So Kazan just sort of runs in. Meanwhile, back in the bathroom. Phone call important?
Oh, very much so. I have to go.
Do you really have to go?
Yes.
Well, perhaps you would hear one tiny request.
Yes. See.
Perhaps you would like to make a little bit of money racing a car.
Yes.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. Here.
Yes.
Hold out your hand.
Should I wash them first? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm okay. He basically pulls out what appears to be a tag, and he says, "Here, your lucky number." He tags you on the hand, and it says, and basically a small LED glows with the number 13. He says, "Be sure to be at the chop shop at exactly 8 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And good luck in the race. If you win,
Thank you.
fame and fortune. If you lose, well, maybe not so much fame, not so much fortune. But good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Farewell."
Goodbye.
And you run back and you sort of catch up. Now, you get to the door, and luckily the door is still kind of jammed open because you've basically hot-wired it.
I was waiting for him per the instructions of the captain. I just wanted to clarify. So the captain and the Kasathas have headed off to the elevator, is that right?
Yep, they've begun making their way.
All right, so then I'm still waiting at the door for the Yosoki.
Which is when you see the Yosoki arrive. The Yosoki seems very happy and very energetic, and he waves at you as he, runs at you.
We're going racing tomorrow, maybe, unless the captain says no, then we're not going racing, but I said I'd go racing.
I believe you are still drunk. Would you permit me to administer a stimulant to attempt to resolve this effect that is currently affecting you?
Stimulants never really work well for me, but sure, okay.
If stimulants do not seem to work upon your internal systems, perhaps then a sedative might calm your mind.
No, they work. I just get a little bit too hyped up.
I have reconsidered my course of medical treatment for you. You are fine to proceed down the corridor.
Okay. What? Okay.
All right. The two of you manage to get to the end of the corridor where you can actually see the lift is currently down below you. You push the button and you can hear the sounds of the elevator grinding as it slowly rises to your level. Behind you, of course, Iron and Chase have caught up, and you're all. I assume you explain the circumstances involving the small girl. So, Chase, what is your response to them to finding out about the girl being abducted by some Vesk?
Oh, well, I better get my gun out just in case anything goes wrong, and And if not, then I can just put the gun away. But no, it's not a one. It's a sniper rifle. It's the only gun that I've got. And then I'll just continue to tell Ayn about every other unimportant thing that's happened in my life.
In my attempt to speak to Jace,
How do you carry something so large?
of course, he hears.
I am Kazan.
Yes. High five to you too, my friend.
Yeah, five is you. All right. Ian, do you respond to Chase at all?
I listen politely because, well, he is a crewmate and morale is established by small talk, apparently. Except this one seems to be doing all of the talking and he is small. So I have no choice in the matter. However, as he pulls out the sniper rifle, I will look to everyone and I offer caution. Carrying open weaponry is a sign of aggression. We are technically interlopers in this situation.
But we save her, and if they pull a gun, then I'll already have mine out.
May they not pull a gun because you already have yours drawn.
Well, I'll hang
Try not
back
to
a
be
little bit
threatening.
from you guys, and I'll try and keep my mouth quiet a little bit, and I'll try and, hide in the shadows. And if anything goes wrong, I'll shoot first.
That's the spirit. See, he's more human than you are.
Call me Han Solo.
Zarn
All
there
right.
occasionally taps.
With that-
Is the door gonna open? Just
Yeah, with that, you hear the grinding of the elevator as it's finally reached your destination. There is only one button and one setting, so after boarding the platform, you hit the button and it begins its descent. As it slowly lowers, it seems to drop you down a fair way into a very large and open area that you can see as you're still descending. The gate, the chicken wire kind of looking fence that separates you from the actual area, reveals that there are shipping containers, a large quantity of them, in fact. With what appears to be individuals, armored individuals of a Vesk nature, who are moving what appears to be people from one of these shipping crates to another shipping crate and back and forth and so on and so forth. You can actually see from this height exactly who you are here to see, which is the tiny little girl being dragged into a very, very large crate that seems to be filled with equally small lizard children.
You're saying we're at a high height. Is this the elevator going down, or is this like we're up somewhere?
You're up high. You're about 40 foot above the actual bottom of the base when you first begin to see the expanse. The room itself is maybe 800 foot long by about 600 foot wide, and the shipping containers go from the floor to the ceiling.
Just to throw it, is there anywhere here? I don't know what the elevator is actually like. When it's the old kind of cage ones. Is there any way I can kind of like jump out? Is there like ledges nearby? Pretty much thinking about a sniper spot. That's what I'm.
Right. You'd be able to once the elevator reaches the bottom, but from this chicken wire fence that is preventing you from leaving the elevator till then.
Sure.
Freddie, did you have something?
yeah. So who is holding that little girl right now? Like, is someone like actually dragging her?
One of the Vesk is like pretty much loading her into the shipping container.
Yeah. I'm going to take a shot at him with my telekinetic projectile. Like I want to hit him in the face and to stop him.
Fantastic. If no one is going to attempt to stop Freddy, I'm going once, going twice.
Do I even
we
know
are-
what he's doing?
You can kind of see his eyes begin to glow. You guys have worked together in a fair while, so you would be able to recognize that he is about to engage.
Wait.
I would
Do
advise
you wait,
caution.
Freddy?
No.
Nope. Okay, roll initiative. You guys do get your surprise round. Now, bearing in mind the elevator is currently seated at 35 feet above the ground. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Let's do this.
I'm going to spend a hero point for initiative. Can I do that?
Absolutely. If it's a D20 roll.
Yep.
Okay. So
I'm glad I did. That's terrible.
I had a wonderful thing to say over the comms while I was set up. I was like, Captain, you just got to give us the code word of maybe it's something like hello.
Okay. Marcus, what is your initiative?
It is 6.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Ein, what is your initiative, my friend?
4.
Oh no.
Okay. Kazan?
So just so you know, I rolled a 3. I'm glad that I used it, so I have 11.
Chase?
I got lucky. I rolled 17, so I've got 21.
Yay!
Okay. Thank all the powers. All right. All right. Because they rolled rather poorly, and they got a 13. So this is a surprise round where you guys get to act. So Chase, you were up first. Again,
So
we
as
were
far-
30 foot.
Well, what
Yeah,
was the results of Freddy's attack, or is this still part of that surprise round?
Probably part of
This is still part of the surprise
Oh, right,
round. So
right,
basically, at this point, you see Freddy readying to use his mind thrust. He has been told by Ein and Marcus. What was it?
Yeah,
So-
it wasn't mind thrust. It was actually no, never mind. He would do something like that. It is mind thrust. We'll go with that.
So,
Okay.
No,
like you already knew I was thinking I had the sniper rifle out, and I seen him cast it, and I was already getting ready. And then, like, the only words you hear from me is, "Was that a hello, Captain?" And then I'll shoot.
Okay.
We really need
Yeah,
to work
make
on
your-
a new code word, Captain.
Make your attack. Make your attack. By the way, who are you shooting? Because I know who's Freddy's targeting. Do you just wildly fire at the first person with a pulse?
No.
good point.
Well, no. We know we're after the girl, so anyone holding on to the girl is someone I'm going to shoot.
There's one guy holding onto the girl, one guy adjacent to that person, and about 4 others that seem to be doing idle tasks in this area.
Well, I'm not going to shoot the janitor first off, but I'm going to go for the guy holding the girl. That's what the other guys were after. The girl. So I rolled an 8 plus 3, and obviously against any kind of flat-footed stuff like that.
Flat-footed, basically for those of you who wish to know, flat-footed is actually now a condition, which gives you a -4 penalty, sorry, my mistake, a -1 penalty to AC. You cannot run or charge. You take a -1 to your attack rolls, melee damage, reflex saves, initiative, strength, a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's how they work now. It's not just like Pathfinder where it was denying your dex. So they are flat-footed. They have the penalty incurred. And your attack was what? Sorry.
Yeah, I ended up with 11.
11. Sadly, you hear this loud, colossal bang coming from the massive sniper rifle as the bullet flies through the air, searing in slow motion. You see it is dead on target as it hits the shoulder plate of the armor and goes as it ricochets off the armor within and instead of penetrating.
And hits the girl's good leg.
She now has 2 limbs. All right. We then move on to Kazan. This is your surprise round.
Yep. So I looked. So mind thrusts. They either take 2d10 or half if they save for my DC, which is 15.
Yep, so you've made your attack against them. They have not made their saving throw. They were too busy wondering what the shit shot me in the shoulder.
Hello.
13, and I don't think that's plus. Because I don't think that'd be. Let me double check on that spell. Mind thrust is nope. So they take a 13, or that person. Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Basically, at this point, you notice that his eyes begin to swell and blood begins to pour from them. As basically he grabs hold of his head in agony, as 13 points of damage is delivered to this poor sot.
Kazan.
Marcus, we then move on to you after you've seen your comrades. If you are typing, I am going to smack you in the face. Marcus.
With an enemy.
Well, I was in the midst of going, no, don't do. Why? Why? Well, there goes the element of surprise and any possible means of bluffing our way through this thing. I yank out my sidearm from my holster and prepare to try and fight for our very lives. How many of these armored mofos are there?
There are 5 in total.
We got
They are numbered from 1 to 5. Number 1 is the one that is holding the girl. Number 2 is his partner in crime that was dragging her away. Number 3 and 4 seem to be doing idle work. Number 5 appears to be an incredibly heavily armored janitor, or at least it is now.
Closest one to us?
That would be number 1.
Captain, we could still salvage the situation.
How far away are the nearest?
He is about 40 foot away from you.
A sincere apology.
A sincere apology now?
I'm
Are you
so sorry.
serious? Do you understand sentient beings at all?
Fairly well, Captain. You could say that the Yosoki is drunk, which he clearly is.
And the other one?
That will
I'm
take
aiming
some
through the zoom.
diplomatic skill.
Take cover.
I
Yes,
need to
Captain.
advance into the room if possible, into the area, and looking for cover because
Okay.
my sidearm is not effective at this range.
My
the
scope's
elevator-
broken.
The elevator is still high up. Now, bear in mind that your range on your weapon does not indicate your maximum range. You can actually hit up to ×10 for your range.
Oh.
However, every increment beyond the first, you take a -2 penalty to your attack.
In that case, I ready myself to act as soon as the elevator actually gets to the bottom, at which point I'm now expecting some very angry people.
All right, you ready an action to retaliate. As we then move, of course, to last but certainly not least, our Ein friend.
Captain, do you wish me to engage these individuals? Or shall we go with the preferred plan of an apology?
I think we're a little beyond apologies now, don't you?
It would appear so. I pull out a pulse
Besides,
caster
I
pistol.
really fucking hate slavers.
That does not bode well. I shall remember to instruct our pilot to plot courses around slave planets. It could take you some time to work through the entire population. I hold out the blaster and I take a random shot at the closest one.
Okay, make your attack.
I appear to have miscalculated the distance. I will compensate for this error.
All right, you hear a large as you see one of the boxes get struck with a very long heat laser, I believe.
It's a pulse pistol, pulse caster pistol. Yeah.
Yeah. So F for the damage.
E.
E. So electricity. So basically, a small arc of electricity spreads from the point of impact.
Yeah.
As we then go to the actual initiative, the elevator has descended to the bottom floor, but the cage is still closed. Chase, it is now your turn.
So how far away are they from us at the moment then?
Oh, which reminds me. Sorry, apologies. All right, how far away are they? They are 20 foot away.
Okay. My sniper rifle has a 1-round capacity, so I guess bolt rifle style. So load another one in, and as a move action, and then take a shot.
Okay, make your attack.
19.
19. Okay, with a 19, you are absolutely able to hit as your bullet finds its mark right dead center.
9 damage. Wait, 9 damage.
Ooh.
It's
now
1d10, but that's all.
Now this was the same dude that Kazan mind blasted, wasn't it?
The guy holding the chick.
Yeah. All right. As the large bang collides with his body, you see that there is a gaping hole where he once proudly held his heart. There is now, he basically slumps to the ground, and as his knees collide, you basically see the, sort of this pool of red appear in his back as he sort of hits face first on the ground.
And that's me over.
That is Chase. Now, the one guy who's standing next to him is like, "Oh, Daniel! No! He was my best man! You bastards!" And he begins to unleash a harrying blow as he just wildly begins to fire his laser rifle. Okay, please make me... Let's see. Oh, no, I made an attack. Okay, what is the armor on Chase for its EAC?
So, going back to what I said before, Chase doesn't have any armor because he couldn't afford it. So, he is EAC 13.
Okay, he has fired upon you with what is called harrying fire. The next target to try and shoot you will be gaining a bonus to their attack, which, of course, is happening right now as the two guards turn to face you. One of them making an attack against Chase, which he actually needed that +2 because he got 14 to hit.
Captain,
And
I
the
have calculated our odds of success. Currently they are 1,158 to 1. They are decreasing with every shot that Chase fires.
I like those odds.
Those
Just
odds are
giving his
against...
iron. It'll be fine.
The second round hits a 17 on our good mystic friend, potentially.
3,452 to 1, Captain.
I only
Roger the
have,
medic.
11 as an armor class, I believe.
Excellent. Well, Chase receives 5 points of burning fiery damage
Ouch.
as the laser cuts into him. And meanwhile, thankfully, the blast hit more bandages than it actually hit your flesh, and you take 1 point of burny, flamey, owie damage.
I'll definitely take it. Just spit at them.
Meanwhile, the janitor continues to mop.
That son of a
Oh,
bitch.
This sounds very terrible, Dot. Well, hopefully they'll not pay attention to me, old Schmitty the janitor. And they... All right.
He's the actual boss.
we then go to Kazan.
Let's see. So the one holding the girl is gone, and then there are 2 more facing us right now?
Yes, there are... 3 facing you.
3, okay. Let's see. Oh, by the way, this is what Kazan looks like, but he has... those are rags. And he holds that really awesome Jedi battle axe thing. So he is going to... He's going to prepare the bottom 2 hands for a different kind of spell, while the other 2 hands pull out the battle axe and just runs forward at the other 3 guards and go in for an attack. And I like to use my last hero point for a +8.
All right.
Come on, baby. 18.
I subscribe to Vogue too. I like living dangerously. All right.
20 total.
20 total. That will most certainly hit.
Okay. That's so 11 total.
11 total. Jesus. All right. A massive whack as your blade or your basically it's not a blade. For those of you at home who don't know what what's it called, a Dasoki? I'm gonna call it that.
Yeah. Just open
Basically, what it is it is a large pole with 3 welding torches mounted into what appears to be 3 large heated beams that, when incinerate large portions of flesh. Now,
Absolutely.
they do not like this.
I am Kazan.
Then go ahead. Yeah.
They do not
Yeah,
like that. Marcus,
Yes. So how far from the bottom are we?
you are from the battle. You are about 30 foot away from the Kazan, and you are about 20 foot away from the one whose best friend you murdered.
Oh, he's going to be real bitter, so I'd zero in on him. And
Put you out
open
of your
up with my semi-auto.
I'll ease his burden by murdering him as well.
Suddenly, you have a Vesk wife that's chasing after you guys.
Why stop at 1?
Husband shouldn't have been involved in slavery.
I said it from stun to apology.
Apologizes.
Petals and a little leaflet, like a Hallmark card, fly out.
Yeah.
It's like a cute cat card.
Although he may be lucky, as my trigger work is not so fancy
no.
at this point. That's a 9.
Oof, with a 9, again, swings wide. You can kind of see he's enraged, and he doesn't even flinch at the blasts going past him. And Ein, we now move to your character.
4,181 to 1, Captain. You will need to improve your accuracy if you are going to assist in this combat.
Oh, wow.
Also, from GM to player, Jono, aren't you a soldier?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
More of a captain than a soldier.
4,381 to 1. Jeez, those odds are better than what I thought.
Yeah, they're going up. I rolled a natural 20 to hit.
All right, well, here's some information for you back at home who have interested in joining Starfinder. Critical hits do not need to be confirmed. They just automatically happen. Not only do you deal double damage, but in fact your weapon usually also has some form of critical effect, which automatically triggers. For your weapon, I believe, Guy, there is a triggering effect.
Stun.
Indeed, which will give him the condition, forcing him to drop everything he holds and basically forcing him to not be able to take an action and gain the flat-footed condition. Well done.
All right, here's my whopping 2d4 damage. He takes 2.
Oh.
Looks
that
like
was
you
the
need to work on your aim there a bit, Aim.
I hit the target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the same guy that the captain was shooting at?
Well, it's the closest one to us. Just bearing in mind that the weapon is set to non-lethal.
Yep, okay, that's not a problem. I will adjust accordingly.
Yeah, the damage is still
don't
the
worry,
same.
so
It's
is
just
mine.
non-lethal.
Like Chappie says, I'm just going to put them to sleep.
Zarn is set to cut.
Okay. All right. So yes, as the electric bolt surges through his body begins to spasm and jerk as he drops his massive laser rifle at his feet.
2,051.
We then
Captain.
It's getting better.
we then go to Chase. Better or what?
Well. The trick attack, right? If I succeed and make them flat-footed, is that just flat-footed for my attacks, or is that flat-footed for the round?
I believe it's your attack.
Okay, so it doesn't really help anyone else out. So I'll just shoot him in the kneecap. Which is, nope. That's, that one there might be a natural one.
All right. As bullet, and you fire your natural one. You swear you hear something behind you, and you go, "What?"
4,300.
As you fire straight up into the air. Please make me a reflex save.
Oh no.
1d20. I'm just like, yeah, Kazan! That's also not very good. That's a 7 on the dice. With a 5, so 12?
12. With a 12, you sadly do not manage to dodge the skylight that has fallen and collided with your skull. You take... Oh, wait, well, the dice has abandoned me. One moment. All right, you take 2 points of damage as you're struck on the head by a giant metal light bulb.
Oh no.
Okay, we then move from Chase to, of course, the soldiers. Now, the one decides to involuntarily continue spasming. Meanwhile, the two of the Vesk that stand next to the Kasatha growl at him and attempt an interesting combat maneuver. What is your KAC plus 8?
It's not great. Wait, I have plus 8?
Yes, plus 8 to your KAC. Come here, nice.
20.
Oh, that is... Well, that's good. It's not sadly good enough. Both of the Vesk take hold and grapple you after dropping their laser rifles. One of them has both of your hands on the left side. The other one has both of your arms on the right side. They look at each other and say, "Make a wish."
If they do not successfully rip him in half, Captain, our odds have increased as a result of this by throwing away their ranged weapons.
Wish not to be in the middle of two Vesk.
The other thing that is very popular notion is that the Vesk are a very physically and strong, imposing creature who, unlike very many races in this known verse, actually possess natural weapons capable of piercing through even the hardest types of armor and materials. Under normal circumstances, natural weapons are analog and will deal a sufficiently less amount of damage, but the Vesk, however, through war and training, can actually rip through a man's armor like a hot knife through butter. That being said, Kazaa!
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I'd like to attempt to, use my strength to rip out of their grasp.
All right, make a melee attack.
Oh, not athletics at all? No? Okay.
I think you can. Oh, actually, I'll need to check on that, but give me 2 seconds. I believe Escape Artist got combined, so you can use that, I think, but I do apologize. I should know this, but, still new game.
That's fine.
Athletics.
That's my strength.
Athletics, climb, tumble, swim, blah, 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 blah. Okay, no, you can make me an acrobatics check if you so desire.
Oh. Okay. Acrobatics? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Not nearly as good. Here we go. No. That's a 9.
Okay, yeah, no. Okay, by the way, the DC is 10 plus the KAC of the enemy that is grappling you. So in this case, you basically struggle, but they seem to have you pulled so that you can't really gain the momentum or the leverage to kind of wriggle your arms free. Marcus, you see your comrade in peril, one comrade who has concussed himself, and the other comrade who is very much gloating about the dancing Vesk he has recently inspired.
Focused on the comrade in peril, I open fire on those threatening him.
Yep, make your attack.
In theory. That, where's my handgun, is 17.
Whew, okay, with a 17, you hit them. Or hit one.
Question now, as with other systems, is it just a straight damage die, or do you add an ability modifier to your ranged attack?
Straight damage die.
Straight damage die. 4.
4 points of damage. All right, that one is rather uncomfortably hurt. All right. Excellent. As your blast fires through and strikes one of them, he kind of looks at you angrily because, obviously he had other plans, but those are being interrupted. Ein.
I will target the one the captain fired at as well.
Excellent.
And completely miss.
Oh no.
All right. As the electric bolt flies through the air, gliding over the armor of the Vesk holding on to Port Kazar, we then move on to Chase.
Why ruin a good thing? I'll just shoot the same guy everyone else was shooting at. For 19 plus 3 is 22.
22 will most certainly hit.
For 6 points of damage.
And he's basically, again, you basically watch as his kneecap is blown out, ripping off his leg entirely. He falls to the ground, cracking his neck and falling completely, utterly unconscious on the floor.
Captain, I was aiming for his head.
Never mind. That'll do.
The other guy now only has half of you, so they can't wishbone you, sadly. The one who was being electrocuted. How long do you stun them for, by the way?
It's just a round.
Just one round. Yep. So he uses a move action to pick up his rifle and fires it back at, this time, obviously, Ein, who he has solely blamed now for basically giving him a new lease on life as a dancer. He rolls, however, a natural 1 because apparently secretly there is some desire to enter the industry, and the fires just out to the side. They exchange looking glances before he realizes that he is actually supposed to be enraged.
I've always wanted to be a dancer.
The one that has grabbed hold of Kazar now attempts to never mind.
The arrangement is from his father denying him the dance classes all throughout his life.
No, Billy Elliot, you cannot dance.
But Dad, I want to use my feet.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I'm just imagining this poor Vesk with the overalls sitting there, blue overalls and white shoes. No,
tomorrow is my big debut.
I'm going to audition and become a star.
I hope he doesn't blow off my kneecaps.
No, I will not put the time into the rough.
All right. Well, as this other Vesk who has no interest in dancing grabs hold of the Kasatha, he lands a boot firmly on his chest and kicks him away. As you sort of move away, you realize you haven't taken or suffered any damage, but you are no longer holding on to your very precious Dasuki. Oh, and of course, at this point, the janitor goes, "Excuse me, lad. I'm sorry. Just don't mind me. Just cleaning up a little over here. See, lots of blood, hard to get out. I luckily have some lemon pledge."
Where is he?
He's just
in my way?
No. He's the guy whose leg got blown off.
Right.
He's next to that guy. He's just we'll get this right out.
Just not even look, just straight on. Okay. Yep.
Okay. We then go to Kazar.
I am Kazan.
And I do another mind thrust on him, on that guy.
Okay, he makes a saving throw of 3.
Yes.
I don't think that's enough. I mean, maybe it is. What do you guys think?
Well, that's my baby.
17?
He is gone! He's out of there as his head basically implodes. He drops to the ground and also drops of course, janitor basically, oh, look at this mess. Oh, this is terrible. Oh,
yeah, I'm just gonna glare.
I'll be back. I need to get another mop. He sort of wanders off. grabbing you. All right, we then move on to Marcus. Marcus, there is only one guy remaining, who is the guy who fired at Ein. His name is now officially Billy Elliott.
I level my handgun at him and shout, "Surrender! You're alone!"
Roll a diplomacy check.
Yeah, that's my strong point. It's diplomacy. Yeah.
Hey, cat.
4.
It's like mine.
You think he may possibly have surrendered? Actually, roll a sense motive. Roll a sense motive on that one.
10.
He's going to shoot you in the face.
I pull the trigger.
Surrender!
I pull the trigger.
Okay.
12.
You pull the trigger. Again, it flies and it ricochets off the armor. Well, I say ricochet, more hits the armor, and then sort of you see this searing yellow spot that just sort of fades. You've basically cleaned it. So well done. Okay. We then go to I.
Captain, I think your attempt to assuage his fears are insufficient, since the odds now are a 1 to 43 in our favor.
You would have thought that
15?
would have been enough for us.
15 to hit will hit.
4 damage.
4 damage. Okay, that's also non-lethal?
Yep. I only fire non-lethal weaponry.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yep, so another jolt runs through his body, and he's like... Argh!
It would appear my attempts have failed as well.
As we then go to Chase, Chase turns around and goes, I'm going to shoot him with my gun! Because that's another reason why I enjoy having everyone's stats.
Yep.
Okay, so he rolls a 16 plus his sniper rifle of 3 is a 19. Someone else can roll a d10 for his damage.
Do you want me to do it?
Do it.
6.
With a 6, you manage to, or he basically blows a hole in his chest, but it knocks him out, doesn't kill him because of the damage he has sustained from his non-lethal. So he falls to the ground. He is slowly bleeding, but his life is not in peril. With that, you have exited initiative as you have secured the area.
I attempt to find some kind of computer terminal or interface that will link into the building.
Very easily done. Next to the elevator is a large terminal that links into the building.
Good job, everyone. Good
Yeah, I
job.
immediately go over to the children, try to comfort them in my Kazarn ways.
They basically look at you. One of them obviously recognizes you, tugs on your robes, and says, "Hi, I remember you. Your dirty robes."
I am Kazan.
Oh, you're Kazan! And could you make me a computing check, please, for Ein?
Yeah, can I just recommend that we take a 10-minute break in real life?
Oh, absolutely.
Now
yes,
that Kieran's back, we can take a 10-minute break.
Yeah.
You totally can. Actually, we'll do the computing check first, and then we will take the 10-minute break. So,
All right.
What did you get for your?
I am attempting to access the internal security system to see if some kind of alarm has been triggered. If it has, I'm going to try and synthesize a false report that it was merely a malfunction and has now been repaired. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to use your hero point.
I'll do an 8 other as well, with a 18. Peeking over his shoulder. Oh, you sure you want to... Is that a backspace? No.
Yes.
Okay.
Whilst I appreciate your assistance...
Oh, that's okay.
Fuck. Alright, so we have a base of 14 plus 2 plus 8, so 24.
All right, with that 24,
sorry. Plus the actual computer use skill itself. So plus another 8. So we got 32.
Oh, gee.
With a 32, you actually not only do this, but you also have root access to their computer terminal. So that it means you are actually able to access it as an administrator. Now, in this capacity, you've realized that no alarm has actually been sounded. However, you get views upon the security cameras of a set of double doors that are probably towards the back of this large space that is slowly being approached by several androids. Now, these ones are uniformed in a very similar fashion. However, they seem to be carrying more tactical military-grade weapons than these guys. While these guys had basic pistols and rifles, these guys look like they are the security force rather than, obviously, the rogue kidnappers. And at its head, you can see one very familiar individual wearing a golden tuxedo heading in that direction. And that's where we'll take the 10-minute break, guys. So,
when we get back, I want to have a quick look at the logs and see if there's any, mass amount of landmines in any of the crates.
We'll just lock the door and flood the, remove all the air from the corridor or something useful. All right, we'll be back.
All right. Talk to you soon, guys.